What part does willpower play in the awakening process, if any? Don't I use some willpower to motivate myself to follow your teachings? I must listen to Eckhart now. I don't want to, but so it's not willpower, because if you use willpower and you listen because you think you should be listening, or you're a spiritual person and you should be listening to a spiritual talk to just prove to yourself that you're spiritual, or you're determined to awaken. No, there is something in you that wants to listen and that responds. And that in you that wants to listen has nothing to do with willpower. It's an energy field that rises up. And the only way you can listen to any spiritual teaching is from that deeper level, not from the conceptual, mental level. And whenever you listen to a spiritual teaching, it's always from the deeper place, it's always a recognition of what you already knew deep down. So the truth is always recognized because it comes from, you listen from the same place from where the teaching arises. And so it recognizes itself. The truth, you already know it, even though it may be too deep for you to access it for yourself. Then you listen to a spiritual teaching, and suddenly the truth that is in you is called forth and drawn out and responds. Oh yeah. And you immediately sense, that's it, yes. Why didn't I know that before? Of course you did know it before, because now you recognize it. Now there's something else in you that does not want to listen. The egoic entity may sometimes take over and say something like, I can't deal with that spiritual stuff now. God, it's just too much. What's the point of all this? It's not getting me anywhere, is it? I've been doing that for years. Where's it getting me? Nowhere. The story in the head. And then you believe in what it says. And sometimes it can stop people temporarily from going to the spiritual teaching. But then if that goes on for long enough, you start to suffer more and more. And finally the suffering becomes the thing that awakens you again, that creates the gap or the opening in you, and you're ready. Now you want to listen again. Can't stand the suffering anymore. The same applies to meditation practice. Willpower is not a good way to ensure that your meditation practice is successful. In other words, it doesn't work. Because willpower in meditation is the famous lid on the boiling kettle. You're holding it down, forcing yourself to be still instead of surrendering into the present moment so that stillness arises naturally. Forcing yourself to be still, and then that may work for a while, and when the next episode of unconsciousness happens, which will be soon, when you go back into your normal life after the meditation, you come downstairs into the kitchen And before you know it, you're shouting at somebody. And everybody is disturbing your serenity.